In the forthcoming elections, Australians have a rare chance to deliver a powerful win for justice and good. You can play a role in rattling the establishment with an unforgettable upheaval. I'm Robert Barwick, Citizens Party's Senate candidate for Victoria. With elections on the horizon, I'm asking you to donate to the Citizens Party today. I'll give you the specifics at the end of this video. But first, let me tell you about one of the crucial issues we're championing. Australia's most pressing problem is that the big four banks and related financial powers have such a chokehold on our elected officials that our government is little more than a facade. Our leaders are just a pack of marionettes dancing to the tune of powerful financial forces while ignoring the needs of the people. The Citizens Party has long held the view that the people of Australia should have something better. A top item on the bank's agenda is to eliminate cash from society. They claim a cashless society is the wave of the future. They make it sound like this is just happening all by itself and there's nothing you can do about it. In fact, a cashless society is not some kind of inevitable trend. It is a deliberate policy and it's aggressively sought and demanded by the big banks and financial technology giants. They want to ram it down your throats, like it or not. The truth is that a cashless society is a terrible idea and represents a danger to you, your prosperity, and your freedom. Of course, it's bad enough that you and your vendors are charged a fee every time you buy something when you use a card or phone to pay. That doesn't happen when you use cash, does it? When you use a card to buy something, the banks and payment processors monitor every transaction and then sell that data at a huge profit to advertisers. Does that happen when you use cash? No, it doesn't. Worst of all, being dependent on digital money means you are far more vulnerable to authoritarian tactics. If you do something the banks or the government don't like if you were to participate in a public protest of some kind, all the government has to do is throw a switch. Suddenly, you have no access to your bank accounts. You'd be penniless. You couldn't pay for housing, food, or anything. In other words, dependence on credit and debit cards can be used not just to tax and monitor your every move, digital money can be used to control your behaviour. This has already been done in Canada. The government used facial recognition and licence plates to identify people who took part in a truckers' protest during COVID. Canadian authorities froze financial assets for those involved in peaceful protests. That's pretty scary stuff, wouldn't you agree? To eliminate cash and cut costs, the banks are ripping out ATMs and shutting down bank branches all over the country. Many small and medium-sized towns have lost their last bank. People have to drive hundreds of kilometres to do their banking. And for the branches that are still open, some of the banks have been quietly converting them to no cash transactions. The financial powers figure if they make cash harder and harder to obtain, and they make it increasingly difficult to deposit cash, people will just give up and stop using it. And that would give unprecedented power to the moneyed few. The Citizens Party sounded the alarm in 2019 when the government tried to push through a ban on cash purchases over $10,000. We mobilised Australians against the cash ban. And, together with our allies, we succeeded. The cash ban legislation was defeated, as you can see from this screenshot of our website in 2020. Of course, the financial elite did not give up. They've continued to shut down bank branches and rip out ATMs. The latest swindle is the federal government has now put forward an extremely deceptive proposal for what they're calling a cash acceptance mandate. Sounds like they're proposing to guarantee cash must be accepted, right? Not so fast. The proposed legislation actually requires cash to be accepted by only 3% of businesses. The suggested so-called cash mandate gives express permission to more than 97% of businesses in Australia to refuse to accept cash. How's that for a con job? The so-called cash acceptance mandate accomplishes exactly the opposite of its stated purpose. The gobsmacking lies are enough to make your blood boil, aren't they? What's more, if businesses are to accept cash, they must have some place to deposit it. This is another reason why we need a post office people's bank, as the Citizens Party has proposed. We have lots more information about the postal bank proposal on our website. If you want a champion to stand up to the big four banks, if you want to send a message to Canberra that you're fed up with all the lies, if you want to have an impact this election, and if you want to shake things up in Canberra, then support the Citizens Party. Our party needs your financial support, and we're in an urgent countdown to the election. We have over 30 candidates running for federal Senate seats nationwide. Our goal is to raise $5 million by the time of the election. It only takes 10,000 people giving $500 to amount to $5 million. With that kind of support, the Citizens Party can shake the establishment to its very foundation. Up to $1,500 is tax deductible. Any amount you can give is a great help. Please contribute as much as you can today. Election Day is right around the corner.
Spoken and authorised by Robert Bowick, Citizens Party, Melbourne.